Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for another video. I'm very excited you're here, and I'm even more excited about continuing the series on goal setting. So today's video, we're going to talk about having a big enough reason. Why do we want what we want, sort of, and why do we set the goals that we set in order to get to where we want, and like what is the deeper, true meaning and purpose behind the particular goal that we're setting. And I will say this, as far as like motivation and determining key motivational factors and tools and things like that kind of stuff we're going to talk about later on in the video series. But I really do want to start with just thinking about what our deeper motives are behind what we are doing. And quite simply put, in order to succeed in life, in order to achieve our goals, we really kind of need to know why we want what we want. Why do we do what we do? And truthfully, we have to have a big enough reason. Because if we're not motivated to do anything, or if we haven't followed through on anything that we've said in the past, it just simply might be because our dream might not be big enough. It might just be that it's not big picture enough, but it's also not detailed enough to be able to accomplish that, and that's why we just haven't done it. The key is we really want our goals, we want to think about our goals as something that we must accomplish, rather than something that we'd like to accomplish, rather than something that we should accomplish. Because, and we as humans, we're very subconscious in that way, if we keep telling ourselves we must do this, we must do this, we must do this, as opposed to we should do this, our brain is more likely to interpret that as an action to do something. It sounds kind of weird, but there's actual science behind that says, if you use the right kinds of words, if you use the right kinds of motivation, we can activate our subconscious to be, more motivated, if you will, to complete something. So in order to kind of drill down into, the why do we want to do things, or why do we do the things that we do, it is literally that simple. Asking yourselves why. I know everyone at some point, either in their own childhood or if they've had experience with a much younger brother or a younger sister, or have their own kids and are going through this, there's going to be a period as they grow up where they keep asking why. Why? Because why? Because why? Because why? Why? And that sort of curiosity is the curiosity that you want to take with you when you're trying to determine why do you want to do the things that you want, why do you want to do the things that you do. And the idea is that you ask yourself why enough times that eventually you get to a point where you simply cannot explain why anymore, and that is the true reason why you want what you want, or why you do what you do. There's an example out there that basically that I can share, which is from a coach to a student, and effectively what that's saying is the student says things like, I can't wait to go home and start using the techniques that you taught to make my work more effective and more productive. And then the coach follows up and says, well, why do you want to be more productive? So then the student returns and says, it would help me get a promotion at work. So see, we're drilling down into some more information here. Now, okay, so why do you want a promotion? We're going to ask another why question. And then the student might say, so I can get a raise. Okay, well, why do you want to get a raise? Because I need the money to buy a larger home. Well, why do you need a larger home? Because I want my mother and my sister to move in with me. Well, why do you want that? Because it's been our dream to own a big house together and live together as a family. And theoretically, you could probably continue to ask why, but you wouldn't get meaningful answers to that response. So truthfully speaking, if we wanted to use this as an example, this is probably where we would want to stop, because we are now we know what this person really wants, which is to have a gigantic home so mom and sister can live with family. And so it's really not so much about being more efficient, but really about the experience of having family living with this person. So really, that's essentially having a big enough reason in a nutshell. We really just want to come up with why, and not be satisfied with getting or with asking ourselves why and then taking the first answer that we get, but instead drilling down into more detail. And you can do that by yourself and just continue to ask yourself why until you get to a point where you just can't explain it anymore. Or you can have another person keep asking you why until you get yourself to a point where you're like, hey, this is where I want to be. And truthfully speaking, the idea here, for most coaches is that the experience of why, the experience of this exercise is really, it does two things. One, again, it helps us to find the true motivation behind what it is that we're doing. But two, from a coach's perspective, it also really allows the coach to kind of get to know their client on a bigger level as well. So this is why I enjoy doing this exercise. It's why I've learned that you can learn a lot from someone by doing this exercise. And truth is, if as a coach you do this exercise but after the second why question your student yells in your face and says, stop asking why, then you learn something else in that regard too, but that's for another video for another time. In any event, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for listening. Any comments, concerns, questions, please let me know those, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.